Welcome everybody to Early Late Nights, the Explosion Network's gaming and esports news, right here from Australia. Be your host, the man that loves to swing around on webs and do flips and shit, Mr. Ciaran Marchant.
Hello, what is going on? What is up and happening, everybody? It is Friday. It's Spider-Man Friday. That's even better. That's even greater. That's even more beautiful. And we're here for your Friday edition of Early Late Nights. I'm your host, as the announcer said, Ciaran Marchant, and I'm here to bring you the latest esports and gaming news from right across Australia and the world at the earliest time, at the latest possible moment. Tonight's show will include why I'm having so much fun collecting stuff in Spider-Man. We're going to be discussing Rainbow Six Siege. It has just released a new update with new characters, and why that game is so successful even though it didn't have the greatest of beginnings. We'll also be diving into Perma-death in video games and board games as well. Board games? Board games! Tabletop RPGs. I was right on that one, and also Red Dead Redemption has released some teasers. Some character artwork that has been recently put up on social medias. We'll be looking at that for the build-up of the game and see exactly what is happening. Did anybody know, right? So we all know Spider-Man came out. Spider-Man was out. Spider-Man came out. Everybody's been playing it all day. You've seen a billion pictures on your social medias of people with the console. You've seen a billion pictures of people holding up the case or kind of taking a screenshot. You've probably seen an endless amount of reviews, articles, YouTube videos. You've seen it all. But have you seen anything about NBA that came out today? Yeah, it's been shadowed a little bit. NBA Live came out today, which many believe is the inferior of the NBA games. But yeah, it came out. If you're an NBA fan, I hope you realized. I've seen a number of people on social medias that have questioned why the hell there aren't any more promotion for it. EA just seems to accept that they're losing on that front, and hey, why should they try and fix it? Hey, because they're EA, they're just going to put loot boxes and shit and try and just get away with it, whatever. Also, Battlefield 5's open beta is out. You can jump online right now, download the full beta, and play along with your friends. I'm not hearing good things. I'm not hearing good things from the PC version. I'm hearing that it's not been optimized very well. The multiplayer is very buggy. And, that's part of beta. But I think a lot of Battlefield fans are a little bit worried by the product, considering this is open beta phase. We're getting closer and closer to its release date, even though that did, get pushed back. But there's still a lot to go on here, and that's probably why they felt the need to push it further back and to continue spending more time, even though they didn't actually mention multiplayer being a reason they pushed it back. It was story stuff, but they need to fix a lot, and Nick has already said in chat it's garbage, and I would believe that, because Nick really enjoys his Battlefield games, so... Also, WildStar, the MMORPG, has closed down the business that was running it. It was also the same name. Is shut down, and 50 people have lost their jobs. Our heart reaches out to all of those who have been affected by that. Sounds like a natural disaster. But speaking of natural disasters, Nintendo is currently going through a bit of strife with its headquarters that are currently in earthquake-stricken areas. The N has fallen off, so no, Nintendo is not being called Intendo. The N has just been dislodged currently, but I hope everybody's okay. They had to reschedule Nintendo Direct for that reason, to make sure their staff were okay and safe. And stay safe if you're in that situation over in Japan. Make sure people know that you're okay. Keep going. I believe in you. But hey, let's get down with it. Let's get down with the show. And we're kicking off with Rainbow Six Siege. I've always been interested by this game. And I think I've commented on it in the past. I've always been really interested in this game and playing this game. And I've seen how other Let's Players and other groups of YouTube content creators have really enjoyed this game. And so I've recently purchased this game. And it really appeals to me how much the devs at Ubisoft are putting their time and effort into maintaining a continual player base. It is very normal almost for for developers to put out their game and just put half the team to continue working on it and then move the rest of the team onto another project, maybe their next up and coming game, maybe a side project they were already doing. They very easily distribute everything that comes from it. So to see Rainbow Six Siege prosper so well after a very lukewarm release, was released it was either November or December, it didn't get much fanfare, and it's had to build itself back up with its operations. Its operations are fantastic updates that are put out regularly, often featuring at least 2 characters per operation, sometimes one of attack and one of defense. They sometimes do it in waves of 2 for attack, 2 for defense the next update. And we have just rolled over into Operation Grimsky, featuring Maverick and Clash, which are 2 very interesting characters for the gameplay of Rainbow Six Siege. Clash is a defense character. Thank you. I'm still very noob at the game. Clash is a defense character that includes a pretty big fucking shield that is used to zap people, where I believe that Maverick is an attack character that can pretty much weld open holes. It's very good to counter mirrors as well as chucking holes through different areas. So it's been interesting to see both the characters shake up the gameplay in the game, but these operations are good landmarks and spot points for changing up the game and being able to refresh the game for people. I've heard it comment by creators and by players and fans of the series that every time they're feeling that maybe they've just had enough, they're feeling like they're getting to the point where they need to jump off Siege and play something else, they launch one of these updates and the new characters come out and they change up the game. The competitive scene gets changed up because the competitive scene starts playing a different set of maps. We get more and more involved from the developers. They change the maps and recreate the maps, rebalancing them in many ways, but also providing more choices for both attackers and defenders on that map. The support in general has been fantastic, and for many things, even as an Overwatch player, I see this stuff that Ubisoft does for this game, and I wish that Blizzard would take some pointers from it. Blizzard is currently going through a point where competitive gameplay is slowly losing its interest for players because it doesn't have much value. Unless you're the top of the game, it's valued a lot. Getting better, of course, is always, but you're always starting and finishing in the same spot. The seasons are meaningless. There's no difference in the season. They need to make similar changes possibly to free it up. Maybe even only have a limited map pool for competitive play and then switch it up for per season or mid-season even. I think change up what characters are available or make these choices. And I love the idea that they release 2 at a time for the Rainbow Six Siege engine and for the ecosystem, because the ecosystem could be very lopsided if there is a off balance of one type of, there's one more attacker or one more type of defender. It's really nice to see them kind of move up at some locations. Of course, there are 2 extras, but that's soon limited out with the following update. It's fantastic gameplay. It's fantastic what they've done. It's a great game if you want to get into it cheap. I do suggest, if you want to jump into it, maybe see if you can borrow it or play it at a net cafe or something. See if you want to invest, and then maybe invest a little bit more money in it. Buy like the $60 pack on Steam if you're going to play on PC, or a proper version that includes all the characters, so you're not just starting off as a recruit and having to unlock characters later in the game. Because the grind is very hard. It's very, it's very intuitive how you unlock characters and how you grow as players and how you grow as Rainbow Six operators. And for me, it's been an interesting learning curve because since playing Overwatch for so long, I thought, yep, I play first-person shooters quite regularly. The skills of aiming and shooting and those kind of skills should, that should pass over. But what I found is Rainbow Six is such a tactical shooter, such a complex beast that you have to know the maps so well, know what other operators know, how your operator interacts with different operators on the enemy team as well as on your own team. It's probably the closest thing to Dota that you could get in a first-person shooter, and that's incredible. I don't think it's something I can invest that much time with because of my love for Overwatch, but I'm super enjoying it. I'm super loving it. It's a fantastic game. I think with Maverick and Clash's additions, as well as the additions of all give you Ding Chavez, my god, as well as all of the characters that are forthcoming, they make so much effort Viva la Dill. Just if you haven't followed Dylan on Twitter, you would not know that his love for Firewall Zero Hour is almost sickening. Almost sickening. But hey, it's what you're going to do. It's a VR game. I'm sure Rainbow Six will be featured more heavily on this channel going forward. We're going to probably get more involved with Nick, Dylan, and myself, all three having the game and getting involved with it. And I'm looking forward to that. It should be fun. Keep an eye out for any posts on our Twitters at Explosion Pod or at Explosion Network, as well as Facebook, which is just, Explosion Network. Meh. Anyway, let's move on. Red Dead Redemption 2. You're either super pumped or you don't care. There's no in the middle for this game. You're super excited, you love Rockstar games, you want to be involved, you love Red Dead Redemption, you want to play it, or you kind of, if I get it, I get it, if I don't, I don't. It doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter, which is fair. It's a fair point. Especially this genre of game isn't going to suit everybody. We've recently started seeing gameplay footage of the actual game of Red Dead Redemption 2. We've seen more interaction between the characters. And now on Twitter, Rockstar Games has released a full set of character artwork for the kind of side characters, for the supporting cast for the game. It is mainly Dutch's gang and its individual members. A lot of the members we already know. There's a couple members, of course, we don't know. We do know that the gang is a group of members that are almost like a family. You'll be interacting, of course, with a lot of them because they're your character's gang. So I'm sure you're going to get a lot of interaction with every one of these characters. But what it drew me is GTA, Rockstar Games in general has a very individual artistic style, and they use that artistic style to make you feel at home and make you be more drawn to a character. I really like the artistic style of these red, simple character arts that all show the different characters with their different personalities. They have a quote next to them for each character, but it also gives you that sense of almost homeliness. If you're a GTA fan or if you're a Rockstar Games fan, you look at these and it throws you back to the good old times on Grove Street, or it throws you back to Vice City, or the loading screens and wait times when you're loading into a game on GTA 5, and all the GTA games so far where it flicks you through different character artworks for the side characters, and you easily connect with them when you play in the game and you run into one. You go, wait a second, I've seen you on this artwork. They get sued for the artwork at some point, but that's fine. But it controls this character. It puts its own personality into the entire thing, which I really love. I really enjoy. It's good to see it. But what gets me the most is a lot of these characters are returning characters that we heard spoken about or directly interacted with in Red Dead Redemption. Of course, John Marston, who is not one of the featured pictures, but the protagonist of Red Dead Redemption 1, is a member of the gang, and we will be interacting with him throughout the game. But even though people are excited for these character arts, they're excited for the members of the gang, what I'm excited for are the characters that we haven't had revealed yet. The characters that haven't been shown in a trailer, they haven't been shown in these character arts. They're going to be completely fresh and new experiences for players when they start playing the game, which I think is always fantastic. To see how they're written, to see how their character plots unfold and continue and grow is such a beneficial thing for Rockstar. Their games are so massive and so immense in many ways that the individual characters that make up the worlds are what really makes the worlds feel lived in. It's not just this family, this gang of miscreants and thieves and robbers and criminals and outlaws. I probably could list more things. I'm not going to though. But these people are the ones that are striving and driving the game forward, but they're not the ones that we're going to be directly interacting with all the time. We're not going to be randomly running into them in the streets. We're not going to be getting missions off them all the time. There will be lawmen. There will be members of establishments. I'm sure there's random people. There's a good chance we could run into the devil again, which is one of my favorite side missions or quests for games in general. But I'm super excited. I am excited for this game. I understand why people might feel meh, but GTA and Red Dead Redemption really bring a sense of character and a brushstroke to their creation that really relates to Rockstar, relates to the people that created the game. You know it's their style. It's been their style all the way back since GTA 3 on the PlayStation and on the Xbox. It's a hallmark of theirs, and I would be worried if we weren't getting these kind of character arts. But remember, this is only scratching the surface. It's building our hype, but it's just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more for us to dig into and discover in this game that no matter how hyped you get, I don't think the game will be showing you everything until you've put a lot of hours into it, much like GTA and the others of the series. But that's fun. Big maps, immense people, large buildings. No, that's not going to be Red Dead Redemption. They're all made of wood. Wooden buildings can't go that tall. But the skyscrapers of New York City have been unleashed to the world as we are swinging around today as Spider-Man / Peter Parker going through the streets of New York, hanging out as your favorite neighborhood Spider-Man. Oh, it's good. Oh, it's so much fun. I was up till about 2:30 this morning playing it, hanging out, discovering it. And the interesting thing I found about the game while I was playing it was the collectibles in the game were starting to take my time and take my interest more and more as I played the game. And it wasn't because of the collectibles themselves on the most part. See, I'm not going to go into too many spoilers for the game, but there are a system much like the towers in the original Assassin's Creed trailer games. You would climb up the tower, you would eagle sight, or you would do something to engage them, and then the map area that tower corresponded with showed you all of the icons in that little area. And Spider-Man has a very similar version that you get for each area you go up and find the tower for. It unlocks all of the little, side missions and police events that are happening. And fuck, I love Assassin's Creed. My first thing I would do, the original Assassin's Creed and Assassin's Creed 2 even, if I got to a new part of the city or a new town or something, the first thing I would do is I'd run around climbing up every tower, eagle vision, jump down next tower, until I had the overall area complete, and then I would go do the side missions and go collect what I want. And so I had the best route between each one. And so now Spider-Man, I'm finding myself on the way to mission and quest objectives, swinging a little bit, off course to go grab a tower or go grab an item to collect. And the big thing for me is it's not the collectible, because sometimes I can get really, really worn out quickly on collectibles. I can mentally go, yeah, I don't care anymore. I'm just going to ignore them now. I'm not going to go out of my way for them. We're just going to keep going. But Spider-Man's gameplay and Spider-Man's overall mechanics are so much fun and so enjoyable that I don't mind going and grabbing a tower or going out of my way to grab a collectible. I really don't mind, because I'm having fun doing it. I'm flicking myself through the streets of New York. I'm running off the side of buildings. I'm slingshotting myself forward, getting immense speed, and then diving and doing backflips and side flips and barrel rolls. And I'm being this spectacular Spider-Man. Fuck, I love Spider-Man. And this is what makes collectibles great. And I think developers get collectibles wrong so often. We see them in the game, we see them get involved with the game, but then we see them put collectibles. But honestly, they're just there to pad time for 9 out of 10 times. They're just there so the player has something off to go run off and do while they are distracted from how short the story or the main chunk of the game really is. Mafia 3 had this, and I really was enjoying the combat of Mafia 3, but it wasn't good enough to make me go, I love doing the same mission over and over and over again. Whereas in Spider-Man, collecting things and taking different, and moving around the map is so much fun and so fluid, and you feel like a fucking badass. You feel like Spider-Man, that it makes collecting them fun. It makes it enjoyable. I'm finding myself spending more and more time collecting stuff because, hey, there's 3 collectibles in my area on the way. Cool, collect. Wait, I can see a tower icon over there. I'm going to flick myself out of there and go grab that. And I really love it when good core gameplay makes minute things or very ordinary tasks enjoyable. Makes it really fun. and I'm having the most fun. I'm going to do a full review article or a review segment on this for Tuesday. But my initial thoughts of Spider-Man from the hour and 2 hours almost that I played last night was the game is enjoyable. The characters are really well done. Spider-Man himself is fantastic. And overall, I just love how it plays out. I'm really loving to. Dylan knows me well. He just said in chat, I look forward to you in a week, saying you might not finishing it because you wore yourself on doing collectibles. I think Witcher's been a good lesson for me. I think Witcher was a very good lesson where I've said, you know what? I'm going to start doing story missions. And I think I'm better at that now. I think one of the collectibles has 55 of them. I've already got 11. But I'm going to do them as I'm moving through, just slowly. I'm not going to get myself lost. I think I try and limit myself subconsciously to about 2 or 3 between missions. And then I go do the side missions while I'm there and fuck around, whatever. But I think I can see myself, I need to take a break from Overwatch maybe today and maybe tomorrow. So I see myself putting in a fair bit of time on Spider-Man in the next couple of days. So I'm fucking loving the game. It's really enjoyable. Wait to see my full thoughts and how I feel about the game on Tuesday for the show. So come back then for that. But one thing you will not see happening in Spider-Man is permadeath. Permadeath won't be a thing. Peter Parker may die, but at some point he'll come back. I'll respawn, or for some reason another character will take over his mantle, and he'll come back eventually. He's never going to be permanently dead. But in tabletop RPGs, especially like Dungeons and Dragons and Pathfinder, it is incredibly normal for permadeath to be a huge part of the game. And depending on your dungeon master, you might have an easier or harder time trying to resurrect the character that you've beloved and put so much time into and work. Recently, there was an article done by PC Gamer with 2 of the members of the cast of Critical Role, Matt Mercer and Taliesin Jaffe. I always fuck his name up. As they were talking about a recent character death that happened in Critical Role. And it was really amazing to see how they each understood what was happening and they were sad about what happened, but they understood why. And I think what is so unique about tabletop RPGs compared to permadeath in games is that you put so much time and effort into these characters. You put so much love and care, and it feels like it's a part of you, that when that gets ripped away and you're told you're not going to be able to play that again, it's a huge blow. Players feel that depression, feel that sadness for these characters as if they were real. And I fucking love it. It's the best. No shit, but like DMing, it's pretty fun killing characters. I feel sad and feel really guilty when I do it. But it's a massively powerful thing to be able to just wipe a life off the map. Fuck, that sounds sadistic and scary. You didn't see nothing, everybody. No, I did not say that. I'm going to protect my player characters for the rest of their lives. No. Death is a natural part of those games, and it's interesting to see how that reflects in future games with video games. Because what I'd love to see is games like Skyrim, games like The Witcher, games like maybe even Cyberpunk 2077, maybe have like a permadeath mode. Have it so it's super hardcore. So you make your character, you beloved it, and you die and you go again. You go again and you just try and live your character's life. Maybe the next life you live is completely different. Maybe you don't do that side quest you're going to do because there's a real life risk to it. Players make really interesting decisions when they know that they can't just be respawned. The moment in D&D that games really stop being fun is when your character gets to a level or gets to a point in its creation that's too badass. It's really fun at the start, but then you get to a point that's like, well, there's no real consequences to this. I'm not a level 1 pleb that could be killed by, a stiff breeze. I'm this badass now that kills beasts with one word, with a flick of my finger. I now can be resurrected if I do die. I can be brought back to life. It's pretty fucking full on. It's pretty impressive. And I think if video games include this more and more in the coming times, even though people will complain like when Hellblade did it, or suppose that it was going to do it. More and more, when the circumstances and the reality of what's happening have such weight, it makes the game so much special. Makes the game so much more fun. As long as it's not super, keep the game on normal difficulty, but have a permadeath mode. Have it interactive for your players. Make it so they're not just going to respawn at a loading screen. I would love it. I think it'd be fucking cool. Put some consequences into your game, developer. Go in and make people care about their characters enough that they don't do stupid risks because they know, I'm just going to respawn back at a save point. Wait, before I make this really stupid jump that is a 95% chance I'm going to fucking die, I'm just going to save the game. So if I do fucking die, I can just reload it and try it again or find another way. No, it makes the game have weight, have consequences. I think I'd like to see more people try it out because that's really fucking cool. But how do you feel? What do you think about the show? What do you think about this episode 48 of Early Late Nights with me, your host, Ciaran Marchant? You want to have a chat with me? Join me in chat during the show live on Twitch every Tuesday and Friday at 6:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. But if you can't make it, that's completely fine. Check it out 24 hours later at 7 p.m. on the Wednesday and the Saturday. Not live, but re-recorded, rerun on youtube.com/Explosion Network. ExplosionNetwork.com for the website with all of our podcasts, as well as all good podcasting services. Go grab the RSS feed, put it into your favorite podcasting app. You'll also get the show. It is fantastic to see you. I hope you get involved with our Games Done Slow initiative. We'll be doing a 24-hour stream in 9 days' time, interacting with various different games between us, as well as getting more and more involved with the community. There's going to be some really great shenanigans. Go check out all the stretch goals on ExplosionNetwork.com. There's a whole bunch, especially if you want to see Early Late Nights done live from PAX Australia 2018. But I hope you really enjoyed the show. If you did, please leave 5 stars, put a thumbs up, leave a comment, say, hey, Ciaran, that announcer, he was really cute. Maybe keep him on for next week's episode. Maybe I'll do that. I appreciate you for watching the show. Thank you for joining us. We are 2 episodes away from episode 50. If you'd like me to do something special for episode 50, please let me know. It's been a fun time. I'll see you next week. Have a good night.